Newcastle United have just put in their most dominant away performance this season in the Premier League, making it 2 wins in a matter of a few days after beating Manchester City. A little setback against Marseille, but like all great teams, they bounced back. Everton in a decent bit of form at the Hill Dickinson Stadium this season, but Newcastle turn up and listen to this. No Willock, no Ramsey, no Fabian Schär, no Sandro Tonali, no Anthony Gordon, no Sven Botman, no Emil Kraft, no Kieran Trippier or Johan Visa in the starting lineup. And they went out there, scored 4 goals. You won't see a more dominant first half performance than that for me, maybe in a long, long time. 3 goals in the opening first half against a stubborn David Moyes side, who you know how they're going to play. They're going to frustrate you. They're going to make it difficult. But they went out there and they dispatched him. That first half, Woltemade's goals, were honestly, his goal was just the quality that he's got. Bearing in mind, he's 6'4", 6'5", just turned up in the Premier League after a very, very big summer for Newcastle United. You know, they missed out on Ekitike. They sold Alexander Isak. They've brought in Woltemade, who for me is going under the radar massively for one of the signings of the season. 5 goals in 10 games. Stepped up both games on international duty against Slovakia and Luxembourg. I think he's got 10 goals in all competitions this season. Really, really good signing for them. His goal today, if you haven't watched it, make sure you go and do, because it was just absolutely ridiculous. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you go down and hit that subscribe button as well. The road to the big 100,000 subscribers is well and truly on. We will be covering the Spurs game later on tonight, so make sure you go down, drop a like, and hit that subscribe button. But the most impressive thing tonight was how Newcastle dominated with a completely different midfielder to what they used to. And it's a Newcastle United team that are really flexing their squad depth. You know, Harvey Barnes stepped up, got a goal on against Marseille, then got 2 against Manchester City. And I said that they have got so much quality, they just lack a little bit of consistency this season. Malik Thiaw, again, has been another really, really good signing. I thought Miley was good today, got a goal, got an assist. Livramento, Hall got an assist. Dan Burn got an assist. Ramsdale overall, you know, didn't have to do, from what I watched, he didn't have to do a huge amount. I'm not going to lie to you. In the opening first half, it was a very, very, very comfortable, first half for them. In the second half, he made a couple of saves, but I never really thought Everton were threatening other than that goal. But the first goal comes inside 50 seconds. You know, Eddie Howe's been under a huge amount of criticism this season in terms of, you know, Newcastle shouldn't be sitting 11th in the league. Their squad is better than that. They've got one of the best functioning midfields when it's fit in Tonali, Bruno G, and Joelinton. You know, everyone knows how I feel about that midfield. Then they've got squad depth of Barnes, Woltemade, Ilanga in their front line. You've also got, you know, Johan Visa when he's fit, Gordon, Ramsey, Willock. They've also got that another striker. Is it Asula? They've got decent depth in their front line, and their defense is, you know, bearing in mind they're without Trippier, they're without Botman, they're without Emil Kraft. Like, they are missing some key players. The first goal is a decent delivery, and Malik Thiaw, who's 3 or 4 yards out, just headers it in to an empty net, and you're sitting there going, right, what a start. What a start for Newcastle United. And then they keep the pressure on. And bearing in mind, this is an Everton side that come off the back of a big, big win against Manchester United, playing with 10 men for, you know, 70, 80 minutes, really putting in a big performance, digging deep, you know, relying on all your teammates. Dewsbury-Hall against Man United was really, really good. Goes out there and, you know, today I felt Newcastle United dealt with him comfortably. I felt they dealt with him like, I'm looking at it, I'm looking around going, what's Grealish doing today? What's what's Dewsbury-Hall doing today? You know, in terms of Garner, Njai, Barry, they didn't really do a lot because Newcastle controlled it. And then they go 2-0 up from Miley. It's the deflected shot, edge of the box. Jordan Pickford can't really do a huge amount about it. And all of a sudden, Everton are 2-0 down, and you're thinking, right, like, you're looking at it going, if Newcastle United can pick up a run of form, when you look at their, as of right now, that they are 12th in the league, I do believe they've got some winnable games coming up. They play us. I'll be honest, I don't think we'll beat this Newcastle United side, especially away from home. And then after that, they've got Burnley. And I'm thinking, if they play like they did in the opening first half, they'll definitely pick up some form and go on a run. And then they make it 3-0. And Woltemade's goal, listen, go and look at that. That is a fantastic finish. It's a really good ball through. He runs onto it and just dinks the goalkeeper. And for a big guy, he is so composed. Like, his feet are very, very good. You know, you're looking at him right now, and I'm thinking, why didn't we sign that sort of striker? Admittedly, they sold Alexander Isak for big, big money. But I'm looking at that going, why can't we go out there and sign a player like that? I mean, Tottenham at this moment in time, we're on a terrible run of games. Bearing in mind, we've got Newcastle United coming up next. But some of the signings they've made, you know, Miley looks a really, really good talent coming through the academy. Livramento is one of the best right backs in the league. Ilanga's been good. Woltemade has been good. Hall was a really good signing last year. Malik Chow today gets a second goal in the second half, and they go 4-0 up. And I'm like, wow. We had a good performance there, but we were just clinical. We didn't really control the game. We won 3-0. But this Newcastle United side, they've just got better controllers in a lot of teams. You know, you're bringing on Sandro Tonali and Gordon. You know, how many teams in the league would go away to Everton without two of their better players, score 4 goals, bearing in mind the amount of injuries they had in that game as well. You know, they were playing without, if you actually look at the overall, the lineup, they were playing without Botman, Emil Kraft, Trippier, Asula, and Johan Wieser still hasn't played a game yet. Fair play to Everton. They get a goal back, but, you know, I look at that and just think that was just an absolute battering, and there's not a lot you can really do about it. You know, as we're recording this, I have got the Spurs came on in the background, and Fulham have just made it 2-0, which isn't ideal for us. But today we're going to talk about that later. Today we're talking about Newcastle United. Now, you know, that they are, you know, back-to-back wins in the Premier League, beating Man City, beating Everton away today. I'm looking at these results. I'm not going to lie. They beat us convincingly. I think they do. Then they play Burnley. I think they beat Burnley convincingly. Then they've got Leverkusen away from home. That's a really, really tough game. Leverkusen just turn up to Manchester City and score 2 goals. And then they've got a massive, massive game against Sunderland away at the Stadium of Light on the 14th of December. Then they've got EFL Cup. December for them is a huge month, by the way. Like, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games they've got in January. And let's be honest, I think they beat Fulham. I think they beat Burnley. I think they beat us. Leverkusen, maybe a draw, and I think they do beat Sunderland. But like I said on the match reaction against Manchester City, if they can get some consistency going, because they have got good players and they have got a good manager. You know, Eddie Howe's been around the block. He's been at Newcastle United a good number of years now. He's made cup finals. He's won trophies. Like, they shouldn't be where they are in the league. And if they can pick up a bit of run, I think they win the next 2 league games. And all of a sudden, you know, Aston Villa, who many people wrote off, including myself, who didn't score in the opening 3 games of the Premier League, are currently sitting inside the top 5. So why can't Newcastle United do that as well? Yeah, like I genuinely think they're going to have a really good season. Make sure you drop a like, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.